Hey, welcome everybody to my video for State of Decay 2, how to play. And I'm making this video because I'm seeing a lot of people who are getting State of Decay 2, and this is their first time playing State of Decay. They never played the first one, and they actually don't know how to play. Now, the game itself gives you a brief tutorial, but then it just kind of throws you in there and you're kind of lost trying to figure things out. And I'm not sure why, but a lot of people skip this menu right here, how to play. So I'm gonna make a quick video. I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna narrate it so that way that people don't want to just hear me talk and explain, this in detail. But for the most part, this is just like a intro video. If you've already played State of Decay, then this, you already know all of this. But this is good refresher for anybody who forgot State of Decay 1, and it's definitely good for if you're new to State of Decay. So when you first get the game, make sure to load up to this menu and go to the how to play. And as you can see, this list is pretty extensive. Now, I see a lot of people on YouTube, they don't like narrating stuff, but this is something I definitely like narrating, so we're gonna hop right in. So first and foremost, there's a bunch of topics. So the first one to start with is this is State of Decay 2. And you control a community of survivors in wake of a zombie apocalypse. Each survivor is unique and will die permanently if things go wrong. You must venture into the wild to get the resources your people need to survive. And that's pretty much State of Decay at its summary level. Next is resources. So in State of Decay, your community has 5 resources, many of which decrease regularly. Replenish them by scavenging or by building a garden or an outpost. If you fall behind on resources, you may face consequences such as starvation. You can starve to death in this game. But in essence, the 5 resources, of course, are food, medicine, ammo, building material, and fuel. Those are the 5 resources that you need to keep your base running functionally and keeping everybody happy and cheerful. If you are low on any or all of those resources, one of the consequences is starvation if you're low on food. The other is if you're low on ammo, you're basically getting attacked, and you can lose some people if you don't have enough ammo to defend your base. If you're low on building material, then your buildings will break down, which will decrease your morale and people will actually start leaving. Medicine, of course, means people won't be able to get medical treatment and could potentially die, or you can't make blood plague cures to help them. So there's a lot that goes into that. But just want to give you a summary on this. Surveying is very important. Now, when you're starting out, you need to survey the area. So, surveying from a tower fills up your map with location icons. Open your map and examine each icon to see what is available to scavenge. Use information to collect scavenger runs and outpost claims. Using your radio. So every survivor carries a radio that they can use to call in outside support. If you need a resource or a recruit, you can use the radio to track that down. Actually, I didn't know you could actually track down a recruit from the radio. That's interesting. They must have added that newly for State of Decay 2. Some survivors offer radio commands that heal, resupply, or rain down fire. Securing a building. To secure a building, you must explore each room marked on the minimap. In addition, exploring all rooms, you must kill all zombies at a location. Once secured, it temporarily becomes a zone where no new zombies appear. Outposts. Now, outposts are sites where you can switch characters and swap supplies. Some outposts provide extra benefits that you can review on the base screen. Securing a building that interact with the point to make it an outpost. So that little lantern in the building, once you secure it, you can use that to claim an outpost. An outpost helps you establish perimeter, as well as some of them provide benefits like additional food per day, as well as other items. Skills and advanced facilities. Anyone can build simple facilities such as an infirmary. For advanced facilities and upgrades, you need your survivors with special skills. Seek how to recruit new survivors to add these skills to your community. As you can see, having people with skills help you build a really advanced base with advanced facilities, which comes with perks and benefits. Morale. So on the base screen, you can view your community's morale. When morale is low or high, it has an effect on your community's performance. Improve morale by building facilities or by satisfying each survivor's need. Most of the time, their needs could either be a quest, mission, or something that is related to them specifically, and often requires you to switch to that survivor to complete that task. Standing and leadership. When your people accomplish things, they earn standing in the community. Survivors with high standing become heroes and offer bonuses to the group. Any hero can then be promoted to become your community's leader, which, depending on who you choose as a community leader, could be a good or bad thing. Good traits, of course, being a sheriff. Bad traits, of course, being a warlord. A leader's legacy. Each type of leader has a legacy they want to leave for future generations. Once Blood Plague is defeated, your leader offers goals to realize this legacy. Achieving a legacy wins the game and unlocks a boon for later playthroughs. So in essence, this gives you, when you beat it, a new plus game benefits. Future communities. Completing the final legacy goal wins the game and ends your community's story. Don't worry, your surviving characters are saved for use in the future. Later, when you start a new game, you can choose to bring them along. Finding a new territory. If you survive long enough, you will exhaust the resources in your territory. The command center at level 2 facility lets you find a new territory to settle. When you're ready to depart for good, you can drive to the exit your map. Earning influence. The primary currency of Frontier is influence. You earn influence by completing goals, trading, and helping other players. Spend influence on radio commands or trade for items with your neighbors. Influence is very, very important, and of course, all these topics I'm going to cover in more depth later on, but I definitely wanted to give people a quick overview. There are human enclaves in this game, which people you can either trade with or you can actually fight, depending on what your choice are. The frontier is inhabited by many small enclaves of human survivors. If you're helpful, they can become allies, trading partners, or recruits. Ignore or betray them and they may become dangerous hostiles. And they are very hard to fight, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Next to pharaohs and juggernauts, the human enclaves have given me the most difficult challenge. Are infestations. Infestations are dangerous and they can spread if you don't keep them in check. Infestations are created by screamers who attract other zombies. To remove an infestation, kill the screamers and clear the site of zombies. Blood Plague victims. Keep Blood Plague victims in your infirmary to halt the progress of the disease. If you bring them the cure, you can use it to save their lives. If you can't, you may need to kill them to prevent the plague from spreading. Or you could, kick them out. That's another option. Plague samples. Plague samples are collected from remains of plague zombies, which are the zombies covered in blood with red eyes. Plague zombies gather in highly dangerous areas surrounding the plague hearts. You can identify plague zombies by a red ooze that gave Blood Plague its name. The plague hearts. The horrible flesh mound seems to be focal point of the Blood Plague. The area around them usually teems with plague zombies, and the atmosphere looks very reddish, like a red mist. The best way to take out a plague heart is with explosive or fire. Wiping out the plague. Expect to find multiple plague hearts scattered across your territory. To be safe, you'll have to hunt them down and destroy them all. Each heart you kill makes the other stronger, like they're prepared for you. So keep that in mind, that the closer you get to eradicating all the blood plague, the more difficult it becomes. And multiplayer, the one feature that I think everybody's been mostly looking forward to for State of Decay. So friends can join your game anytime, bringing characters from their communities. Use your radio to volunteer to join other people games. You can also invite strangers to join your game from the same menu. And last but not least, helping another player. When you join someone else's game, your role is to assist them. You can contribute supplies to their community and use their facilities. You earn influence for your accomplishments here instead of standing. Now, keep in mind, there's a tip I want to let you guys know. If you're playing in somebody else's game, because I've actually done quite a few sessions in multiplayer, before you leave that game or while you're playing that game, if you want to take rucksacks with you back to your base, what you should do is you should put it on a character and then switch to other characters until you fill up all your characters with rucksacks, and only use the character you want to keep using. And if when you're done, depending on how many people you switch out to on your base, you could actually take back about 8 rucksacks with you with your team. So that's actually a nice way to kind of sneak rucksacks back from multiplayer games to your game, because you're using your roster pool and have them keep the rucksack on them, which will then get transported back to your actual game when you do that. So that's a nice little tip for anybody who thinks multiplayer is not fun and that only the host benefit. No, you can benefit too outside of influence by having the rucksacks, or using, I guess, your roster as pack mule to take the rucksacks back to your main game. So that's a nice little tip for those who are unaware of that. because a lot of times this game requires a lot of creativity to really get the most benefit out of it. And I laugh every time I hear somebody say, oh, I don't like multiplayer because it doesn't benefit me. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have 8 pack mules, fill them up and take them back. And it's much easier to get rucksacks in a co-op player game versus trying to get 8 rucksacks by yourself. Much more easy. Alright, well, that's my quick overview of the how to play menu. I didn't see anybody else who did this. It's pretty much there for new people, but a lot, I mean like 90% of new people skip this completely. So if you learned something from this video, thank you. Hopefully I'm glad you if you guys learned something from this video, then great. If not, it's a good refresher for those who are unfamiliar with some of the little perks. Like, there's a few things I learned from just reading that myself. So it's a good refresher and a good introduction for those who want a little bit more depth and nuance than just the beginner multiplayer that State of Decay offers you when you start, which isn't really that in-depth. Alright, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.